A Ripple official says that a stablecoin for euros is on its way to the XRP ledger, and it's not the only one. What a lot of useful information has been shown. It's great that Crypto Eerie shared this with us. And I have a clip of a co-founder of BlackRock telling us in a roundabout way that the dollar is losing value. What this might mean for crypto is something we need to keep an eye on. We are going to learn more about Hidden Road from Max Avery. Listen to what he has to say. I also have some great background and data to share with you. Also, this choice is really cool. A law was passed in Montana that says people have the right to use cryptocurrency. We got new information about the XRP system and heard from SP Holdings about Hidden Road. I'm going to play this 4-minute clip. As you can see, I'm going to let this play for you. If I need to quickly pause it once or twice to give you some background, I will. Hey everyone, my name is Cassie Craddock and I'm the Managing Director for the UK and Europe at Ripple. I've been at Ripple for 8 years and it's been quite a journey. It started when I had to convince banks to join a network to send money across borders. Now we can offer banks and other financial institutions full digital asset infrastructure, including payments, custody, stablecoins, and the tokenization use cases we'll talk about today. It's been interesting from a Ripple point of view. I'm in charge of Europe, and I think what we've seen over the last year, 18 months or so, is that micro has really given banks and other financial institutions the confidence they need to move into the blockchain and digital asset space. And because of that, we've seen some really cool new ways to use it. So we teamed up with Soc de Forge, one of the best banks in France, first for storage and now for putting out their EuroCV stablecoin on the XRP ledger. We work with our customers on a lot of other use cases like putting money market funds on chain. More and more institutions are becoming interested in this area, which is making that trend stronger. Our cross-border payment product solves the problem of trapped liquidity on the Ripple side. It also helps financial institutions serve their users better by letting them make instant real-time payments through a network of partners that lets cash move from A to B. That could be real money, stablecoins, or XRP. Because of that really cool use case, we've seen a lot of people adopt it over the years. Also, to give you a general idea, I think the first thing we did was solve the problem with that cross-border payment offering. This led us to having that kind of end-to-end digital asset infrastructure. We built the tools for banks and other financial institutions to be able to do that in a sophisticated way. In 2023, getting the custody technology was very important for us because we know that custody is the starting point. You need bank-grade security for any digital asset work you want to do, whether it's tokenization, payments, NFTs, or something else. With that important piece of infrastructure in place, we can now work with banks and other financial institutions to tokenize and come up with use cases that we might not want to support. They can do this by using our technology. Adelia and I work on it because we're the biggest developers on the XRP system. I think it's very important. Ripple wants to help institutions with their banking needs, right? But we want to make environments where developers are brave and try new things. I believe you need other people to start building on the network really fast. It's not enough to be Ripple. When Ripple went to the SEC to fight the case, they made sure to say, hey, we're not in charge of the XRP ledger. It is not organized. We were just in charge. We built a base, we did all of these things and then gave it to someone or something. Okay. So, Ripple needs people who know how to build on Ethereum. People still build on Ethereum, right? You get the idea. Solana. For these kinds of coders, if we could get 5 or 10% of that building on the XRP ledger, we could see different DeFi and use cases. All of those use cases will need XRP to make their work easier, no matter what problem they are trying to solve on a large scale. And that will, of course, lower the quantity that is moving around. You know that the price goes up when there is less XRP in circulation, right? In this case, the goal is to both raise the worth and fall the supply. It will be good if we can do these two things well together. You should look at how these companies or financial institutions use our technology to, move the future of financial services forward. Know what I mean? A good user experience means that these banks, financial institutions, and people who buy these things need really good infrastructure to power it. To really make this work on a world level, they need the right wallet, the right custodians, and the right compliance tools. And I think that both of these things are starting to come together, but I think we still have a long way to go before we can really make this happen on a world level. In the last few seconds, she said something very important. I just need to play those last 6 seconds again so everyone gets it. It's still going to take a while. Listen, we do have a long way to go before we can really make this happen on a world scale. That's why, when a lot of people say XRP will be worth $1,000, 0 cents in 2025, I start to wonder, isn't there still an awful lot to do? Okay, if the economy goes crazy in 2025, I think XRP will only reach $1,000, 0 cents. This could happen through debt issues, the bond market, or something else on the XRP record to make the markets more stable or something, right? Or Trump could decide tomorrow that XRP will be used for American FX and the money saved will be used for something else, right? I don't know. Any given day, we have no idea what the government will say or do. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Okay, Versen put this up, and JP Morgan and BlackRock do own XRP. He's saying, my brother and I don't need the news to confirm what's clear to us when we're alone. And he says, you really think that the world's biggest asset managers wouldn't be at the forefront of the new financial system? He tells her that's not smart. He also put up this video. Does the co-founder of BlackRock imply that it is taking place? Please keep in mind that this is on CNBC. It's on a public board. So it's clear that this is already going on behind closed doors, even though there are big talks about what's going on with de-dollarization. If it's already being talked about in public, you can bet it's already being going on behind the scenes. Usually, when stocks drop as much as they have, people rush to safe investments like US Treasuries and the US dollar. This time, things are very different. For this reason, bond yields are going up as the market struggles, and the dollar comes in. That's an interesting trend that makes me think that there's more going on here than just borrowing money. Okay, don't forget that the US dollar is still the most common currency used for trade around the world, even though many countries are trying to avoid danger by investing in the US dollar. But this will make life harder for us in the United States. For 40 years, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency. As citizens of the country whose currency is used the most, this gives us extra power and benefits. If we switched to a different currency from another country, it could have terrible effects on our business. Please pay attention to this. As a hedge against the dollar, people sometimes buy crypto assets and sometimes buy gold, but the bond market is having a bad time right now. Japanese, Chinese, and other US allies are now selling treasury bonds, which are US debt, because they don't trust the US and are sick of having one party in power for 4 years and having very different policies than the next. It's like pulling teeth back and forth. I also think that some countries may be sick of this. When things change every day, it's hard to know what to do and where to put your money. Let's play it. I'm going to say it. The price that Ripple paid for Hidden Road was $1.25 billion. Hidden Road is a top exchange that handles over $3 trillion in trades every year. A lot of people still don't get how big this deal really is. Well, it's one of the biggest in the history of digital assets. To sum up, Hidden Road works with more than 300 large businesses that handle 50 million deals and $10 billion, 0 cents, every day. And now they are going to move their payment work to the XRP ledger.